welcome to the Volusia Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics Member Spotlight. My name is Tasha Brickhouse, registered dietitian, and I will be your host for these fun and informative videos. In honor of the National Nutrition Month 2021, we're releasing a series of interviews from a few of our members in diverse areas of practice. Today, I have Mary Olshefski, registered dietitian, certified specialist in sports dietetics, who currently works in the state college setting as a professor. Hey, Mary, it's so good to see your face.
Good morning, Tasha. I'm so happy to be here, and I think we're going to have a great time today.
Absolutely. This worldwide pandemic has changed the way we are able to see one another, but thankfully we live in this digital age where we can come together in a setting like this. I know, I was going to say, it allows us to do things like this, like pushing the envelope, and we haven't done anything like this before, and I think it's a new frontier, and it's going to help registered dietitians a lot. So. I love it. I'd like to start our time out together just by asking, when did you know you wanted to be a dietitian?
I figured it out when I was a freshman in college. Actually, believe it or not, my major was fashion merchandising.
Wow.
And I actually had roommates in college that were dietetics majors, and as part of my curriculum, I had to take nutrition. There were some certain courses that you had to take in the Department of Home Economics, which is what it was in the college I was at, and you had to take nutrition. And I took a nutrition class, and I fell in love with it, and my roommates were into it, and that's how I got into dietetics and becoming a dietitian.
Wow.
It wasn't on my radar at all.
So crazy how we have those things unfold before us. Like, we don't even necessarily know that there's this one world of study that maybe we haven't even dug into, and then all of a sudden peel back the curtain and you're like, oh, I really like that. That's really interesting.
Absolutely. And shows the importance of being able to take electives at the college level to introduce you to topics that you really weren't even considering, and then wow, your eyes get open, and that's what you do for the rest of your life. So
yeah,
very fortunate that I took that class.
For sure. And as your life path turns you in that direction, you ended up being on the side of actually teaching in the college setting. So how cool is that? Was being a college professor ever on your professional plan?
No, absolutely wasn't. I've been very fortunate in my life that God has opened doors for me a lot, especially in my younger part of my career, where opportunities just came knocking at my door that I never expected. And my philosophy was, let's go for it. Here I have this wonderful opportunity here. Let's try it. Let's be adventuresome. Let's see how it works out. And I just happened to be in the right place at the right time and get an opportunity to start teaching as an adjunct at Daytona State. And I fell in love with it. And I let the chairperson know that if the position ever was to go full time, that I would be interested in applying. And so when the professor that was there retired, they let me know, and I was one of the folks that they called for an interview, and I got the job.
How fantastic was that?
I never looked back. Yeah.
That's so great. I love
so my background. I was at Halifax Medical Center in their health and fitness department for almost 10 years. And so and about 3 or 4 of those I did teach as an adjunct. And it was great because I really was starting to feel growing pains and wanted to branch out. And then I had this opportunity to go to Daytona State. And like I said, I never looked back. So it's been the best move for me.
That's really amazing. Sometimes in the world of outpatient or inpatient setting, sometimes you don't have the opportunity to really see a wide age range. Sometimes your patients or clients are only of a specific age range, but you, with now students, you probably do have a wide age range that's in your classes, right? What would you say is an average age group in the classes that you teach?
I have anywhere from 14 to 70 years and beyond. So yeah, wow. Being it's an open enrollment college, Daytona State. So we have people from all age groups coming back to school. We have people that are seniors that are just taking the class for enrichment. And then of course I have high school students that are dual enrolled that are seeking their AA degree. So it's a really diverse population in terms of ages.
Yeah, that's really amazing, because I think that just speaks to the fact that you're able to get in and provide some nutrition education to, say the 14-year-old dual enrollment, that they may not have had nutrition as part of their previous curriculum for school. This might be their first line interaction with major nutrition concepts, and that would shape their decisions moving forward. And likewise even in the older population, this could be new information for them too.
So absolutely, yeah. For a lot of the dual enrolled students, and just the students that have graduated from high school and are coming in, this is really their first exposure to a nutrition course. They may have had a health course with a smattering of nutrition, but not one where nutrition has been the sole focus. So it's a great opportunity to be able to get them to think about food in a different way.
Yeah, I can imagine. You probably see the light bulb go off over their head sometimes in class, where they just like, oh, this is, never thought about it like that, or hadn't.
Oh, absolutely. It gets a whole mind blown thing frequently. Yeah, especially if you have them start doing a little nutrient analysis on what they're eating.
Oh yeah, cool. So tell us, on that note, tell us a little bit about the span of knowledge that your students gain from the beginning of the semester to the end of the semester.
So the course, it's a general introduction to nutrition. So it's your basic nutrition concepts. It's taught as a survey course. So you're just learning a little bit of everything. And so, we always start off with the basics. I start off with the consumer nutrition and introducing them to the basic concepts of nutrition. One of the things that I tell them from day one is that my passion for students, what I really want them to get out of the class, is to think more about food. Typically students or people in general are thinking about food because it tastes good, they like to eat it, it fills them up. But I want them to start looking at what's in food and what it can do for their health, and how the power of choosing a diet that's rich in whole foods can ultimately affect their health and how they feel, and change their life in a lot of ways, especially if they have any type of health condition. So that's my main focus class. So we start off with the basics. You do the consumer nutrition, we're learning about nutrients and food labels, and then we progress into digestion. And I really try and stress to them, because a lot of times they're like, well, why do we have to learn this? Because it doesn't get any more personal than this, learning how your digestive tract works and how food becomes actually a part of you. And so we learn the science behind digestion of food, and then we actually do chapters on each of the nutrients, and then we focus a little bit on weight management or weight balance, and then we talk about sports nutrition, and then nutrition through the life cycle from pregnancy through seniors. So that's sort of that's the basics of a general nutrition class.
That's awesome. So would you say that students come in with some understanding of nutrition, or are they pretty much a blank canvas coming in?
This is great. And I point this out to students when they come in, because I think everyone's taken a class maybe where you walked into a class and you know nothing about the topic and you feel a little bit overwhelmed. And I always tell them on the first day that everybody eats, so everybody knows a little bit about nutrition. So you're all walking in to this class knowing something about food and health, but maybe you perhaps never thought of it in that respect. And so at the beginning of every class, I always try and tie to things that they probably already know. And I say, look, here's the base, and now we're going to expand upon it.
That's really cool. And it's a life skill class. It is something that they're going to use every single day. And, in the acute care setting, I often tell patients, this is the one thing that you do have control over. It's the selections of food that you make and the options that you keep just close at hand. Those are the things that you do have control over. Some of the other things in life you may not necessarily have control over. So teaching those students that early, that's a high impact class as far as offering life skills.
Absolutely. And I tell students all the time, some students, I'll say, some of you are here because you're ready. You're really interested in nutrition and you want to learn how to make a healthy eating plan for yourself. And I said, others of you are, maybe you're just taking this to get your column 2 science credit. And I understand that. Maybe you're on the fence about eating healthy. I go, but that doesn't mean that you won't need this information someday. And I give examples how I always have students that come back. They'll come back to see me and they'll say, I had this going on in my life at that time, and I really wasn't able to get into making changes in my diet, but I'm ready now. Or I have this goal in mind, I want to go into the Air Force, so I really want to get fit and in shape, and I know that nutrition can help me. So, I took all the things from your class, and here's what I went to the grocery store and bought all this food. So, you have to meet people where they're at and just kind of, plant the seeds and let them percolate a little bit, so to speak. Yeah. And usually they will make some changes. And again, if they're not ready, often they'll find later on that they are.
That's awesome.
Which is awesome. I love when they come back. You're like, wow, it really was effective.
For sure. Well, personal experiences. My daughter took your nutrition class, and my son took the nutrition class at the college as well. And I know that they came out of that with a little bit deeper understanding. And I'm their mom, and I am a dietitian, but just hearing it from a different perspective and from a different voice and those type of things, they were able to pull out of that things that carry on even to today. So that's awesome that you can plant those seeds and kind of get in there and give them new information. And so I love the fact that you talked about the number one objective for these students is to be able to pull those life skills and use them. Is there anything else that you would really want them to walk out of your class having?
To use evidence-based information. And we talk about that all the time. So we address myths that are out there that have been around for a long time, and the ones that are new and trendy. And we talk about, well, where's the evidence to support this, and what do we know that the science says, and is this true, or is this something we really need to come back and give further consideration to? So we're always stressing critical thinking and referring back to using evidence from what the research has shown us. That's a huge part of it.
Oh, for sure. And that also is a life skill, because social media thinks that they are the platform of all new and shiny information. So it's really good for them to be able to line that up with, where to find the actual facts and evidence. So is that part of how you might teach a student how to detect a bad diet?
Oh, absolutely. So we talk about bad diets, and we use it a lot with supplements as well. And I talked to them, I said, I'm not anti-supplement. There are some good reasons to use supplements. There are some supplements out there that are beneficial, but not all are. And we have to start, looking at the supplement facts and the labels and how they're promoted, and then calling on the science to see if this is really true. And so, we kind of talk about how maybe with sports supplements or weight loss supplements, that maybe those are two categories that we want to really scrutinize and give careful thought to when considering taking one.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really amazing. Well, you're definitely in that role that creates a bit of an agent of change there, being that your entire career trajectory was changed, your education pathway was changed by a nutrition class. I would say the same thing. I had a biology for non-science majors professor that really challenged me to get into nutrition. So my hat is off to all of the educators out there that begin this love for potential nutrition experts, dietitians of our future, just kind of create that spark. Have you had many students come through your classroom that have later gone on to be dietitians?
Yes, I have. I've had quite a few. And to me, that's just like the icing on the cake. And so I run into them from time to time, maybe at, Florida fans, I've seen them. So I think it's, fabulous that they can take a class, have their eyes open just like I did, and then go on and find a whole career from it.
That is amazing.
Yeah, so it's happened, definitely.
So very cool. Very cool. Well, I am so thankful for the time that you've given us today here, Mary, and just let us peek in the windows of what it's like to be a nutrition professor, what it's like to be a student in your class, and what those students can hope to get out of your class. And I'm just very impressed with the work that you do and all that you pour out to the students. Anything that you'd like to share as we wrap up our video today?
So what I was going to say was that if you are a dietitian and you think you might like to get into education, I would encourage you to do so. And you're really not just limited to the classroom. You're a leader in the community, and you can do so much with connecting what's going on with the college to things that are going out in the community, or within the community within the college. Just not only students, but staff and professionals and so forth. So.
Great word there, Mary. Well, we would just like to wish everybody a wonderful National Nutrition Month of 2021, and we will see you again in our next episode. Have a great day, everyone.